Have you ever lost important Excel data? Microsoft Excel already provides powerful tools. Learn essential tools from undo to find and replace. Work faster and use Excel more confidently.
Welcome back to GSF Tech. This is our Microsoft Excel Complete course for beginners. In today's lesson, we'll learn editing and productive tools step by step with practical examples. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. In today's lesson, you'll learn 7 essential Excel editing tools that every beginner must know: undo, redo, repeat, zoom, editing cell data, copy you paste, find you replace, managing rows and columns, hide you unhide, and spell check. Have you ever made a mistake in Excel and wished you could go back instantly? Or wanted to repeat the same action without doing it again? In this lesson, you'll master undo, redo, repeat, and zoom, the simple tools that save time every single day. Let's begin. As we have discussed in our earlier video about Excel cell as an individual rectangular box formed by the intersection of a vertical column and a horizontal row used to store data. Cell data is the text or the numbers within a cell. It can be text you type in, numbers, or formulas. When you start creating a spreadsheet, one of the first steps is to enter data in the cells. Raise your hand if you've ever accidentally deleted something you spent hours working on. Exactly. It feels terrible. But in Excel, you have powerful command that works as a time machine for you. We are going to learn about the ultimate safety net in Microsoft Excel. Your last action can be undone. For example, if you had deleted an item and then decided you wanted to keep it after all, undo command will make it reappear. The undo command reverses your very last action. There are 2 ways to do it. You can click the little arrow curving backward at the top left of your screen in the Quick Access toolbar. Or you can use the keyboard shortcut, Ctrl+Z on Windows, or Command+Z on a Mac. Now, let's look at the opposite scenario. What if you undo something, but then realize, wait, my change was actually correct. I want it back. What tool do we use then? Redo. Exactly, redo. Redo is the undo for your undo. It goes forward in time. The redo button is the arrow curving forward next to the undo button. Click the redo button on the Quick Access toolbar. The keyboard shortcut is Ctrl+Y or Command+Y on Mac. Excel has a faster trick called undo multiple actions. Right next to that undo arrow at the top left, there's a tiny downward-facing triangle. If you click that triangle, a drop-down list appears showing every single action you just took. You can scroll down, highlight all 4 mistakes, and click. Boom! Excel travels back in time and undoes all of them at once. In our last lesson, you learned how to undo mistakes, like a pro using undo and redo, but fixing mistakes is only half the story. Now it's time to start building your spreadsheet the right way. In this quick session, you'll master 4 essential Excel skills: entering, replacing, deleting, and editing cell data, the foundation of almost everything you'll do in Excel. Let's jump straight into Excel and get started. You should now be looking at my blank worksheet. As you know, every box you see is called a cell, which has its own unique address. I'm selecting column B, row 2. That gives us cell B2. This is the active cell. Whatever I type now will appear inside this cell. I'm going to type coffee. Now watch carefully. I'm pressing the Enter key. Notice what happened? Excel saved the word coffee and automatically moved to the next row. Simple. Want to move across columns instead of down rows? Press the Tab key instead of Enter. It's a small shortcut. But once you start using Excel regularly, you'll use it hundreds of times. 2. Replacing data. Now let's imagine I made a mistake. Instead of coffee, I actually wanted to write tea. Most beginners do this. They double-click. Delete everything. then type again. You don't need to. Here's the faster way. Watch this. I'll single-click the cell once. Now I'll simply type and press Enter. Notice what happened? Excel immediately replaced the old value with the new one. No deleting, no editing. Just one click. Hard typing. Done. Remember this shortcut. Single click plus type equals replace the entire cell. Fast. Simple. Professional. Deleting data. Now suppose I don't want T anymore. I want the cell completely empty. Here's something many beginners don't know. The delete key and the backspace key are not exactly the same in Excel. Let's see the difference. I'll select cell B2. I'll press the delete key. Watch. Gone. The data disappears instantly. The cell stays selected. This is the fastest way to clear data, especially when you're deleting information from multiple cells. Now I'll press Ctrl plus Z. The data is back. This time, I'll press backspace. Notice the difference? Instead of simply clearing the cell, Excel places the cursor inside the cell, ready for editing. Pro tip: if your goal is simply to remove data, always use the delete key. It's quicker and cleaner, and it's what most Excel users prefer. 4. Editing data. Let's type green tea. Perfect. Now I don't want to replace it. I only want to add one more word. The final result should be green tea latte. But here's the mistake beginners make. They single click and starts typing. And suddenly, everything disappears. Why? Because Excel thinks you're replacing the data. And Excel gives us 3 easy ways to do that. Method 1, double-click. Watch this. I'll double-click inside the cell. Notice the blinking cursor? Now I can click exactly where I want. I'll type latte. Press Enter. Done. Method 2, F2 shortcut. Here's a shortcut that professional Excel users love. Select the cell once. Now press F2. Instantly, the cursor appears inside the cell. No mouse movement required. If you enjoy working faster, start using F2 from today. You'll thank yourself later. Method 3, formula bar. There's one more method. Select the cell. Now look at the top of the Excel window. This long white box is called the formula bar. You can edit the contents of any selected cell directly from here. This becomes extremely useful when you're working with long text or complex formulas. I'll finish the edit. Press Enter. Perfect. Our final result is green tea latte. Exactly what we wanted. Let's quickly review this session. To enter data, select a cell, type, and press Enter. To replace data, simply single-click the cell and start typing. To delete data, use the delete key for quick clearing. To edit existing data, use double-click, F2, or the formula bar. These 4 skills form the foundation of everything you'll do in Microsoft Excel. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to GSF Tech, and press the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming Excel tutorials. In the previous lesson, we learned how to enter, replace, delete, and edit cell data. Now we're going to learn something you'll use in almost every Excel worksheet, moving and copying information efficiently. Let's open Excel and begin. Let's start with the safest command in Excel. Copy and paste. I'm selecting this cell containing green tea. There are 3 ways to copy it. Method first. Right-click. Choose Copy. Second method. Go to the Home tab. Click Copy. The fastest method. Third method. Press Ctrl+C. Notice the moving dotted border around the cell. That tells us Excel has copied the data and is waiting for us to paste it somewhere else. Now I'll click another cell. And to copy the exact data to another cell, we will use Paste command, so we will press Ctrl+V. The original stays exactly where it was. That's the biggest difference between copy and cut. Now let's learn the second operation, cut and paste. If copy creates a duplicate, cut moves the original data from one place to another. Watch this carefully. I'll select the other cell this time. This time, instead of pressing Ctrl+C, I'll press Ctrl+X. Notice the moving dashed border around the cell. That tells us Excel has marked this data to be moved, not copied. Now I'll click on another cell and press Ctrl+V. That's what happens. The data appears in the new location, and the original cell becomes empty. That's the biggest difference between copy and cut. Copy leaves the original where it is and creates another copy. Cut removes the original and moves it to a new location. Here's an easy way to remember it. Copy creates a duplicate. Cut changes the location. Before using cut, always make sure you know where you're going to paste the data. Once pasted, the original location becomes empty. So far, we've learned how to copy and paste and cut and paste. But here's something many beginners don't know. Paste doesn't always have to paste everything exactly the same way. Excel gives us a powerful feature called Paste Special, which lets you choose how your data should be pasted. Let's look at one of its most useful options, Transpose. I'm selecting this list of months. Now I'll press Ctrl+C to copy it. Next, I'll click on a blank cell where I want the new list to appear. Now, instead of pressing Ctrl+V, I'll right-click and choose Paste Special. From the available options, I'll select Transpose. Watch carefully. Notice what happened? A moment ago, the months were arranged vertically in a column. Now they've been pasted horizontally across a row, without typing a single word again. That's exactly what Transpose does. Transpose is incredibly useful when you receive data in the wrong layout. Instead of entering everything again, simply copy, use Paste Special, Transpose, and Excel rearranges it for you in seconds. And this is just one feature of Paste Special. Excel also lets you paste only values, only formulas, only formatting, and much more. We'll explore those powerful options in the upcoming lessons. Excellent! Before we move on to the next lesson, let's quickly recap everything you've learned so far. These are some of the most important Excel skills you'll use almost every day. 1. Undo, redo, and repeat. 2. Enter, edit, replace, and delete. 3. Copy, cut, paste, and paste special. In this lesson, we explored Paste Special Transpose, which instantly converts rows into columns or columns into rows. Keyboard shortcuts to remember. Ctrl+Z undo. 2. Ctrl+Y redo or repeat. 3. Enter save and move to the next row. 4. Tab save and move to the next column. 5. F2 edit the active cell. 6. Delete clear selected cell contents. Ctrl+C copy. Ctrl+X cut. Ctrl+V paste. These shortcuts are simple and very basic. Mastering them will make you faster, more accurate, and more confident every time you work in Microsoft Excel. And that's a wrap for part 1 of lesson 2. So far, you've learned some of the most essential Excel skills. Undo, redo, repeat, and zoom enter, edit, replace, and delete, copy, Cut, paste, and paste special. These may seem like basic features, but they're the foundation of everything you'll do in Microsoft Excel. Master these, and every advanced topic will become much easier. In Part 2, we'll continue our Excel journey by exploring more powerful tools and shortcuts that will help you work faster, smarter, and more efficiently. So make sure you don't miss it. If you found this lesson helpful, give this video a like, subscribe to GSF Tech, and press the bell icon so you're notified whenever we upload the next lesson. Thank you for learning with GSF Tech. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing. Goodbye, and I'll see you in Part 2.